In this second example, which is our last example for today, we're going to be taking a look at how to graph ellipses. So once again, you see that the equation is not given to us in standard form, and we want it to be in standard form because that's when we can quickly identify things like the center, what the a value is, the b value, and those are the things that help us to graph. So first, we're going to have to do a little bit of work rewriting this into standard form. All right. So I'm just rewriting my equation down here so that I can, oops, that should be squared, I'm sure. No, that's correct. So 8y plus 9 equals 0. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to group my x's. X squared plus 6x. I'm going to leave a space because I'm going to have to complete the square. And then I'm going to group the y's. I'm going to leave a space. And then the constant, that positive 9, I'm going to move it over to the right side. So it's going to be minus 9. Now, be careful here because we need to factor out this 4. So I'm just going to bring this down. And I'm going to factor out a 4, and then I'm left with y squared minus 2y. Alright, so let's go ahead and start completing the square. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9 here and add 9 to the right. Here, when I do negative 2 divided by 2, I get negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. Alright, that completes the square, but remember that this is actually multiplied by a factor of 4. So 4 times 1 is 4. So that's what I add to the right side. So let's go ahead and completely factor this. This is going to be x plus 3 squared plus 4 on the outside, y minus 1 squared equals, these 9's equal 0, they cancel out, so it equals 4. Remember that ellipses always have to equal 1, so to get rid of that 4 there, I'm going to divide everything by 4. Alright, so here I technically have a coefficient of 1. 1 over 4 doesn't reduce, so I'm going to have x plus 3 squared over 4 plus, now these 4's reduce and they give me 1. Alright, so I don't need a 1 in the denominator, so I can just write this as y minus 1 squared. I know it kind of looks weird, but we don't need that denominator. And then all of this equals 1. Alright, so remember that this is to be able to graph the ellipse. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and set up a graph. Now I want to identify my center, my A and my B. I don't need to graph the foci, so I don't need to find C. Alright, you could if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. So my HK is my center, so it's going to be negative 3 and positive 1. Alright, so negative 3 and positive 1. That's my center. Now let's take a look at A and B. We have to figure out which one is A and which one is B. So for now, I'll put that over 1, but the larger one is this one. So if I rewrite that in its squared version, this is 2 squared and 1 squared. Right, so A, the A value is 2, and the B value is 1. Now because A is underneath x, I know that this ellipse is going to be long horizontally along the x-axis. So what we're going to do with A is we're going to move 2 directions to the right, 2 units, I'm sorry, and then 2 units to the left because I know that my ellipse is long horizontally. And then my B is along the minor axis, so I'm going to go up 1 and then down 2. And then that's all I need to be able to draw out this ellipse. Try to make it as ovally as possible. But that is our graph of the ellipse.